Now, earlier we indicated that the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson resigned amidst calls for him to step down as the kingdom now searches for its next PM. What do we make of his resignation and the many resignations the Conservative Party endured as they stepped out due to what they called an unfit Prime Minister who can't govern? I'm now joined this evening by political analyst Dr. Maruis Kudumo. Good evening and welcome to the Daily Roundup, Doctor.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me.
Doctor, briefly give us an analysis on, this turn of events.
Yeah, it was coming as a result of various events that took place. For example, during the COVID-19, there was an issue at 10 Downing Street about a party that was held there, and many people were actually against that or did not feel well about that because it demonstrates the type of ethical leadership that they have. Secondly, there was another issue of the judgment of appointing a deputy chief whip who's having some characters that are not acceptable, especially to the Tory parliamentarians and generally to the British people. And as a result of that, we are finding ourselves in the situation in which we are finding ourselves. Generally, it's about ethical and moral and leadership of integrity. That is what is at stake.
What are some of the contributing factors that informed the party members to resign?
Yeah, like I said, it's integrity. People felt their leader is not able to lead with integrity and with moral and ethical standing. And as a result of that, they felt that they cannot associate themselves with those values. And basically, when you don't agree with some strong policy issues, the result for you is to resign. That's normal in a democracy.
And would you say that the PM resignation is a right move? And equally, what does it say to how the UK does things, given that it's not the first time that a UK PM resigns?
Yeah, I think it is a right move because you cannot govern when there's a deficit of trust, when the people that you are supposed to lead are of the opinion, whether it is factual or perceived, that you are not capable to lead or that you are not representing the values that they stand for. Yes, it is not the first time that we are seeing a prime minister resigning, but what we have seen is it doesn't affect governance and administration of the country because the institutions and processes and systems of democracy are very strong. So we will not see a lot of things, implication thereof, except maybe politically. Otherwise, systems continue to function.
Boris's resignation also means that he will stay PM till the country is able to find a replacement. Firstly, how will this affect his governing as the UK awaits? And also perhaps, how fast do you think the UK will work to find a replacement?
It will be very difficult because it is himself who announced that he will stay on as the Prime Minister. But if he's staying on, then he's governing a party, then he's leading executives who the majority do not have trust in him. So it will be very difficult to govern in such circumstances. But obviously, it's not a guarantee that because he said, I'm staying on, that he will stay on. His party have other options if they feel strongly that they don't want him to stay on. And even Parliament itself, they have options like a vote of non-confidence and other things. So the fact that he said so does not necessarily mean that it is what will happen. But if he will stay on, there will be problems in governance because you are leading people who don't trust you that you are capable of leading them.
Finally, what message does this send out to other nations in terms of forced resignation from office?
I think for me it's a good thing because Prime Minister Boris Johnson appeared on the stage as this strong personality, this strong person and so on. But he was humbled by institutions of democracy that no one is actually superior to institutions. And basically, it is also teaching us that principles, values, and ethical and moral standing is also important in political settings. And we are hoping that we will see more people in political settings who stand on matters of principle and who can resign, which is at a cost, but at least they resign honorably because they believe in certain principles and moral standings. So I'm looking forward that many countries will actually learn something out of that. But secondly, it's also that one individual is not stronger than a system or an institution. So you can resign, the system will still function. And I think it's likely what we will see, as it had been the case previously.
Dr. Kudumo, thank you so much for your time this evening, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.